So, you're a bacon hair with red gloves just getting into Untitled boxing game and have zero idea what the hell's going on. This video is for you. Sup guys, I'm Lilium. This is my debut video and it's a guide to Untitled boxing game. I plan to make more UBG content in the future, so if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get this guide started. First off, let's start with the HUD. The red bars on top of the screen are your health bars. Yours on the left, your opponent's on the right. The blue bars below the health bars are the stamina bars. Always watch both of these bars on both sides. The circle that charges up is your ultimate meter. Lastly, if you're using a style with an ability, you will see an ability bar. Now for the controls. You have two methods of defense, blocking and dashing. Blocking allows you to reduce the damage you take from your opponent's attacks. It has a threshold, so you can't really block forever. As for dashing, you can dash in four directions: forward, left, right, and back. Dashing allows you to evade your opponent's attacks. Forward dashing is used to close distance from afar. It also happens to have crazy iframes, so it can be used to evade attacks in close range. Back dashing is used to make space between you and your opponent. It almost guarantees you avoid their attack, so it's kind of broken, but you know, it's in the game, so use it. Now, onto offense. You have three main ways of attacking: light attacks, heavy attacks, and special abilities. Light attacks are usually fast, do lower damage, and can be spammed for a light attack combo. Light attacks are less predictable because of the speed. Using a light attack combo on your opponent's block is your main way of depleting your opponent's guard. You can also do chip damage to the guard while you deplete their guard. Do you see the opponent's health bar? The dark red seen on the bar can be healed over time if you do not attack your opponent. This is where heavy attacking comes in. Heavy attacks are usually slow, harder hitting attacks, and are very predictable. Since they are slower, it's easier for people to evade and perfect dodge. If you hit your opponent with a heavy attack, if they have a dark bar from your lights, it'll make the damage permanent. Heavy attacks being predictable can be quite annoying, so why would you use your heavy? Feinting. To use a feint, you have to press your light attack button after your heavy attack button during your heavy attack animation. You can either use it quickly after the heavy attack for an early feint, or later into the animation for a late feint. Using feints can confuse your opponents, ruining their rhythm and flow. Now, some styles have a special ability. For example, the Dempsey roll from the Epo style. In the Epo style guide later on, I will go more in depth about this. Your ultimate can be used once it's fully charged. Your ultimate can be used to turn the tides of the match. Most ultimates do half health, with some exceptions. Regardless, it does immense damage and can change the outcome of matches. There are two ways to land your ultimate that I have found. The first way is to use a perfect dodge. A perfect dodge guarantees you that you land your ultimate. The second way is to break your opponent's guard during a light attack combo. Your ultimate does guard damage, and if your opponent's guard is low enough, you can use your ultimate to break your opponent's guard. Now for some core mechanics. Your block, if depleted, will break. This leaves you exposed for an attack, usually for a heavy. Each style has a certain amount of block, so you must make sure to manage it. Dashing towards your opponent's punch before it hits initiates a perfect dodge, guaranteeing a heavy attack or your ultimate if it's charged. Countering is when you hit your opponent while they're in an attack animation. Countering does extra damage to your opponent, called counter damage obviously. You can counter with both a heavy and a light attack, with the heavy doing more damage and the light attack doing less. I am now going to tell you some tips I wish I knew before starting playing this game. So, if you are hit with a light combo, you can block even after you were hit. You can also use heavy attacks to roll catch. If you use your heavy attack at the right moment your opponent dodges, you may be able to catch them with a heavy attack. Sometimes if they attack, it can become a heavy counter, which does a lot of damage. As I said before, backdashing is pretty powerful. It guarantees you avoid attacks. So if your opponent backdashes, how do you counter that? Well, you can chase a backdash by side dashing. Side dashing when your opponent backdashes lets you chase them down, and sometimes allows you to have an opening to attack. In UBG, there are four distinct playstyles: outboxers, inboxers, counterpunchers, and boxer punchers. Each playstyle provides a unique way of playing the game while utilizing its mechanics. They all each have their pros and cons, and each playstyle can be used with every style, but some styles were made specifically to be played a certain way. Let's start with the outboxing playstyle. The outboxing playstyle is basically playing passive. Most users of outboxing use styles that have long-range and quick, unpredictable attacks. Your goal is to stay as far away from your opponent as possible while attacking them from afar. Outboxers strive to win by attacking you from afar and staying as far away from you to avoid getting hit. As you can see in my gameplay, I avoid direct fights a lot and play passively, attacking and running. The infighting playstyle is fighting your opponent head-on and in close range, never ceasing aggression. Most users of infighting use styles with high base damage and unrelenting attacks. You keep at your opponent, aggressively attacking them. Most people utilizing infighting have the goal of breaking your guard to hit a heavy attack, as you can see from my gameplay. Infighters are aggressive and powerful. The counterpuncher playstyle is pretty obvious. You focus on counter damage and hitting counters. Most users of counterpunching use styles that have quick attacks with a counter damage bonus. Counterpunching requires you to think of your opponent's moves a step ahead so you know when to throw a counterpunch. They can be either passive or aggressive, but their goal is the same. It's to hit counters and do tons of counter damage. The Boxer Puncher playstyle is a mix of aggression and passivity, and is very versatile. Boxer Puncher users usually use all-rounder styles. Boxer punching requires you to know when to get aggressive or be passive given the situation. You can both inbox and outbox, maybe even counterpunch. Boxer punchers are very versatile and have many options. The most important word of advice I can give you is to play the game the way you like playing it. There isn't really a wrong way to play UBG. This guide may help you to start off, but play the game your way. This wraps up this guide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.